So things just went from bad to way worse for Miles Morales. What's up, comic book fans? And welcome to Comics Icons. Now, JJ what they call me. And today, we got more Miles Morales Spider-Man with issue number 30 and part 2 of the Pools of Blood crossover with him being hunted by Deadpool. And if you guys missed part 1, then I'll put up a link at the top of the video for you. And I'll put a link at the end of the video as well to that and the Miles Morales playlist. But Deadpool got a contract to take out Spider-Man from Agent Gal, formerly of the Cape Killers. And with him being incredibly desperate to get money and weapons so he could take down his own big bag, he went ahead and took the contract. But he unknowingly shot Miles' clone brother Shift after thinking he was the real Spider-Man. Although Deadpool's daughter helped give him a change of heart and decide to aid Shift, it was too late. Because in came Miles Morales kicking everybody's ass for taking a shot at his brother. So if you guys are ready to find out how Miles handles this Deadpool daddy-daughter duo to protect his family, then you guys know what time it is. Let's get it. So when the issue kicks off, Miles has finally unleashed his Venom Blast Sword as he demands an explanation for what's happened with Shift. And Deadpool fans out over this crossover finally paying off after seeing that Venom Sword. And as he goes in and the two lock swords, we take a minor trip back in time to what brought Miles here, with Miles recapping his Wakanda trip with his boy Ganke. He even filled him in on the trickster god Anansi. And honestly, Ganke is a little bit jealous that Miles went on this whole adventure while Ganke had to stay back and cover for Shift at school. Although Miles tries to assure Ganke that it really wasn't all that fun. But Ganke never even knew that Miles was a vampire, and he's honestly a little bit hurt that Miles didn't involve him when he was going through it, so he could be there for his boy. But from Miles' perspective, he just wanted to limit the people he was around because he didn't want to hurt anybody. But he does appreciate Ganke for helping out with Shift. He knows it means a lot to Shift to be able to experience life as a normal kid. And just as they're talking about Shift, Miles gets a call from Shift while he's swinging through the city as Spider-Man. And right now, Shift has something really important that he needs to speak with Miles about. So Miles agrees to go ahead and suit up, and then he'll come and meet with Shift, leaving Miles to go ahead and bounce away from Ganke and go meet up with Big Little Bro. And just as Miles, now fully suited up and swinging away, thinks to himself how good it feels to get back to normal, Anansi pops up over his shoulder, spooking the hell out of Miles. Anansi was tired of sitting along the sidelines, so he decided to join Miles for more stories. But after he shows himself to Miles, reminding him that he's not going anywhere, he vanishes. Just in time for Shift to call Miles back. He really wants to have a serious conversation with Miles. Although putting together the words is still a little bit difficult for Shift, even though Kamala Khan had been helping him out with all of that. But he does manage at least to tell Miles that he's really enjoying helping people. But he's not really getting to be himself. So Miles has Shift to drop his location so Miles can meet up, and then they can talk face to face. But before Miles could even get off the phone with him, that's when we pick up with the events of Deadpool issue 11, as Deadpool has Shift in his crosshairs and he pulls the trigger. So if you guys remember in the Deadpool issue, Deadpool had made a joke about heroes being distracted on their cell phones. So now we get to see that it was Miles on the other end of that call. Which brings us all the way back to right now, just as Miles is handing out ass whoopings to both Deadpool and Ellie. And just before they decide to work together like we saw at the end of the last Deadpool issue, and also like in that last issue, they effectively get some hits in on Miles when they work together. Although in this issue, instead of Deadpool thrusting his sword, he straight up chucks that thing at Miles. But just as Ellie leaps in for a huge blow on Miles, while he's getting up and he's got his back turned to her, we quickly find out that Miles was playing possum, and he turns around and straight up catches Ellie with a venom punch that knocks her right back into Deadpool. Then Deadpool decides to take his shot at Miles, but then he ends up breaking his sword in half on Miles' vibranium suit, and breaking that sword makes Deadpool feel some kind of way. He was really close to that sword. And then Ellie calls herself trying to hurl a knife at Miles in the back, but his spider sense made him straight up dodge it, and then it goes right into Deadpool's leg. But then as Miles once again unleashes his venom sword and then charges at Ellie, when they clash, Ellie's teleporting phone starts to go crazy, likely from Miles' venom energy. But they stop fighting long enough for her to check it out, and it looks like it's about to explode. So she tries to get Miles to get back, but instead Miles webs it out of her hands and tries to hurl it. But Ellie won't let him, since that phone is special to her. It was a gift from her dad. So even though Miles is trying to protect her from it exploding, she's still trying to grab it as it hits the ground, and then it explodes and teleports Miles and Ellie to some entirely different location. And then Miles is once again visited by Anansi, who looks to be enjoying his little story ride along, much to the dismay of Miles. And Miles is like, look, if I'm your hero, then what's up with some help? But Anansi responds that this is helping. And then he vanishes again. Meanwhile, though, Ellie gets up and asks Miles if he always talks to himself like that. So that means when Anansi pops up, he's not stopping time or anything. He's just like a little ghost that only Miles can see and hear. But Miles responds to Ellie, don't worry about me. We really need to talk about you and your pops. But Ellie's like, bruh, you just laid into us without even letting us talk. But for Miles, they just shot his bro, so it wasn't anything left to talk about. So the two square up like they're about to start up again, until Miles asks how Ellie transported them there. And she responds that his laser sword shorted out her daggers and blew up her teleporting phone. And then he asks her about why the phone was worth getting blown up for anyway. And that's when she takes off her mask and reveals that it was a gift from her dad, Deadpool. And that phone and her mask are the only things that he's ever given her. And she waited forever for him to call her and welcome her into his life. And then she defends that her dad means well and he has a good heart, which is why he tried to help out Schiff after he realized what he did was wrong. So then she tells Miles her name, and then they kind of bond a little bit over the weight of wearing a mask. And Miles admits to her how much he wasn't sure that he was doing the right thing back when he first started out. But then after their little bonding session, they finally decided to look around and try to figure out where they were teleported to. But then Ellie instantly realizes that they've been sent back to their mercenary office / home. And before Miles could even unpack the fact that they live in a mercenary office, Miles' spider sense goes off again. Because guess what, y'all? Ellie ain't Deadpool's only daughter. As a symbiote dog daughter, Princess comes face to face with Miles. And she looks hungry. But then we pick back up with Deadpool as he decides to continue on with his bad plan of giving up Shift as a hostage before then coming back to free him after they got paid. Unless somehow Ellie's heard he tells Shift, then he's gonna be everybody's problem. But when Deadpool carries Shift through Gal's hideout on a wagon, Gal's not there. But instead it's her two goons that we had met in the Deadpool issue, Midas and Output, who are waiting to double-cross Deadpool. The double cross. And before we can get into what happens next, that's, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the issue. So what did you guys think about the issue? It was a wild one, right? Miles is really getting put through the ringer, and we haven't even scratched the surface of what's still to come, I'm sure. But now I want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on Miles' new suit helping make light work of Deadpool? And how about his dynamic with Ellie? Plus, what do you guys think Agent Gal has in store for Deadpool with her double cross? And let's not forget about Anansi. Do you guys think that he's truly trying to help? Or is he just messing with Miles for some extra fun? And where do you guys see that little relationship going? Go ahead and drop your theories down in the comments. I want to hear them all. And don't forget, this story arc is far from over. We got 4 issues in this thing, so we still got 2 more. So you guys make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on so you don't miss out on the next breakdown. And don't forget to drop a like to help out with that algorithm. Trust me, y'all, things about to escalate even more. So I'll see y'all in the next one. And I appreciate y'all watching. But it's about that time, y'all. I'm out. Peace.